they're sort of broadening their horizons to a newer market, and they're going to show a lot more of the Premiership games. I'm not sure about, they've got sort of one impish presenter on there, probably a poor recruit, but other than that, I think they'll do really well. Yeah, a lot of hard work goes obviously into pre-season. Had a good break and then sort of nose to the grindstone. But as you say, the competitive juice is sort of flowing in the pre-season games, but nothing's like the real thing. Come Twickenham Saturday. Feeling really good actually. Probably the best we have. Since I've been there. Reason probably is we've moved training grounds to probably a world-class facility, probably one of the best in the Premiership. So we've probably gone to one of the worst facilities to one of the best in the Premiership, and that's obviously allow guys now, they want for nothing, and you can adapt training, be a little bit more sort of inventive with it, but without losing the sort of obviously work ethic. He came in sort of at the tail end of last year, and there was a few things that sort of bothered him, especially about sort of like the squad's attitude in certain games. We're sort of switching on and off, and sort of pinpointed that, and is basically, he wants guys that sort of want to obviously improve individually and sort of help the team and want to play for the team, and it's a pretty young squad there, but everyone there doesn't feel like they've reached their peak, and hopefully won't. You always got to keep learning and improving, and he's given us clear direction of what he expects from the squad, and maybe no concrete goals or anything like that, but what he's looking for week in, week out, and performance. Otherwise, you won't be there for very long. We were, losing focus, and I suppose it's what happens on the training pitch. We were probably a side that got bored doing the simple things, well. We sort of got, balls that catch and pass, try and do something behind your back, or got bored with tackling practice, and then you'd miss a few, and that was reflected in our performances, and it's not going to be the case this year, let's hope. At the end of the day, the best thing you can do as a captain's lead by example on the pitch. It's sort of, it's a physical sport, and you want a guy to sort of lead from the front and give you direction. And Robbo in the last 2 years has excelled, in consistently in most games. He also got some good captaincy experience in a couple of midweek games on the recent tour to Australia, and did very well there. And Connor's brought him in, a sort of fresh start, I suppose, with Connor there, new training facilities, and obviously a new captain as well. The average age of the squad's about 23, and sort of you look down the sort of birth dates, and they're all in the sort of early 90s, and you start to wonder. But it is vital that you do, that you are looked up to as much as you try and sort of brush it off, or maybe deny it, or not you don't realise it. You are sort of looked up to by the younger players, and you've got to set that precedent and that example, and you've got to aim along with all the other players, giving your all and to better the last performance. But if the senior players sort of seem slacking, the youngsters, obviously it rubs off on them and say, well, if he's doing that, I can do that, and you just can't afford at any stage in a match or during the season to have that liability. Well, I think minimum is qualification for the Heineken Cup. Disappointed last year not to qualify, but this year minimum is that, and obviously silverware, and in the Premiership that's top 4, and in the Amlin Cup obviously we're in that in Europe, and we've got to try and attain to win that. But it's a long season, I think. Given the number of teams and the competitiveness, and everyone's got a similar size squad, everyone's spent up to the similar salary cap. It's going to come down to how all the squads are managed this year, and how you keep the sort of the guys motivated, especially when it comes to the darker months and towards the end of the season.